Hi everyone. In this video is a continuation of previous video on Delta Lake features. Make sure you watch the previous video before this. The video link has been given in the description. Also it is given in the I button in the top right corner. Please find the attached Medium blog link in this video description where you can find all the code snippets used in this demo with the theoretical explanation. Once you have used merge operation, you might need to capture how many number of records has been inserted, updated or delete in your Delta Lake. This feature has not been previously available in Delta Lake. Now in recent version they have added this in their operational metrics under history command. So you can use this describe history command on your Delta Lake table to know what are all the operation has been implemented in that particular table, like merge, write, or any partition has been removed or deleted by it is done by uh, which user, at what time it has been done. All this kind of information you can get it. And the property which I'm saying is operational metrics, where you can get that when once merge is done, you can get this information like how many number of records has been inserted, how many number of records has been updated, how many number of records has been deleted. So this is the table you will be using to get that information. So to get that particular three information, you have to write this query. Means we are actually query from this particular table only. Means this particular command. If you can see here, this is the command which is running as a subquery, and limit 1 because I know the last command which it ran was a merge operation. So I am giving limit. So based on your project requirement, you need to decide this. And you need to give to parse the JSON information. You need to just click the root JSON variable and the attribute inside the JSON. By this, you can get the insert, update, and delete counts in your application. Next, we will see the time travel features. So as of now, till now, we did initial load into our Delta table, and then we created a new column and appended that information to our Delta table. And as a third operation, we did DML by implementing updates and deletes into Delta table using merge operation. Now assume like you want to see how your data looks in the initial load, which is the read version 0. This read version information you can get it in this describe history table command. So if you see here, you will be having a read version column. So if you backtrack it, you can see the initial load which is having the read version of 0. So if I click that, give that information 0, you will see the while doing initial load, we have all this as a inserts and we had 4 records. This way you can travel back or roll back to your old data information to see how your data looks originally in that particular time. This feature will be useful when you want to roll back to particular version. You found that you got some error records from the upstream application which is by mistakenly loaded into your Delta table. In those scenarios, you can use this you can use check this read version of the particular thing from the Delta describe history table command and query it the Delta table, query it from the Delta table. Also, it is not only you can use version, you can also use the timestamp which is also present in the history command table. Now we will deep dive into transactional log files in Delta directory and how Spark make use of that to achieve all these features. So under this Delta log directory, you can find ignore the CRC files. You can find the JSON files. We have currently 3 versions of JSON files because initial load happened at the time one JSON file has been created. Then we created a new column. That time second JSON file has been created, and the third JSON file is when you did the merge operation. I am just opening that information. of the second JSON file this is. This we will view it a little prettier using a Spark JSON API. I'm reading this first JSON file, which is like initial load. Here you can see this information, commit info, which like all metadata related information, like written by which user and what kind of operation has been done. And you will have the metadata information because there is a schema, new schema has been created in Delta. And you will be having two Parquet files. Initially we did coalesce of 2. So those two files you can find it in under add column. And under add column, along with this Parquet file name, you will also have min and max values under stats key. Along with that, you will also have how many number of records has been present, which is used for data skipping while reading the huge volume of data. Now let's see the second JSON file when we did new column addition using the merge schema feature. So here also there is a schema change happen. So you will have the metadata column, which will have the additional column of the new call. And you will also have the new Parquet file, which has been written into add column. You won't have any remove column as of now because we didn't do any update or deletes. Now we are going to open the third file, which after merge operation has been happened. Here you can expect the remove column is present because we did updates and deletes. So as we already discussed, when there has been updates and deletes are happening, those particular values wherever present in the Parquet files, all the remaining records also rewritten to a new Parquet file, and that will be put it into add column. You can see these are all the new Parquet files created based on this merge operation happened. These are all the 3 Parquet files which has been removed. Means it is not physically removed, so it is just kind of a flag in this delta log file. When Spark reads this information, it will ignore all this remove file and it will consider only the files which is present in the add. But why can you think consider why this information is not actually removed from the directory? This is due to time travel feature. If you want to travel back to your old snapshot, you can make use of this time travel feature. So that is the reason it is not removed immediately. This stale data will be removed automatically after 7 days by default. This is configurable based on your project requirement. What is scalable metadata handling? Large tables will have millions of Parquet files, where maintaining the metadata is a difficult process. The metadata which I mean here is the transactional log files under Delta log directory. Spark reads all these transactional Delta logs from the latest checkpoint to last log file and compact it to a single holistic snapshot and write it into a single Parquet files as a checkpoint. Checkpoint says this is the complete state of this table at this version, and so you do not need to view the other transactional logs previous to this checkpoint. So any queries triggered will start from the checkpoint instead of reading the entire transaction log. So assume we have rows till this point we have two delta log files, and I'm giving an example that there may be 2000 JSON files also possible. So what happens when you read from Spark? It needs to first read the log files instead of reading your actual data, because log files give you information like what is the only data you need to read, because there may be many information you don't need to read. But this is how data skipping works. But in this millions of data, if you have that time, reading your log files itself means the delta logs itself become a time taking process. To avoid this, we have this handling this massive metadata by collecting all these 2000 JSON files and compacting it into a single checkpoint file. So after this happens, next time when you read the Spark, it doesn't read the 2000 files. Instead, it reads the single compact file and any other JSON files after that. This is how the scalable meta handling works. Data Lake uses optimistic concurrency control to provide transactional guarantees between writes. So using this mechanism, before committing the changes, it will check whether the proposed changes conflict with any other changes that may have been concurrently committed since the snapshot was read. Assume like user 1 and user 2 trying to append the information with some table 1. So while reading, it will be reading this zeroth snapshot, and when trying to write the information, it will make sure that there is no other changes has been made to this delta file. If there are no conflicts, all the staged changes are committed as a new versioned snapshot and the write operation succeeds. However, if there are conflicts, the write operation fails with the concurrent modification exception rather than corrupting the table as would happen with the Spark vanilla Parquet tables. So in by handling this, you are trying to avoid the corrupt data entering into a data lake. Okay, we come to an end of this lecture. Like what we have seen is like delta lake features and how it helps to build a next generation unified analytics and aimed at helping the data engineers build a robust and reliable production data pipeline at scale. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to Tech Island.